There's a new themed area at Kings Island this season. It features two new family rides, enhanced theming for Adventure Express, and a new restaurant and a new gathering spot at the end of the night where you can get drinks and just hang out with your friends and family. And we're talking about Adventure Port. Hello, everybody. I'm Don Helbig alongside Ryan Sir, and this is Tower Topics.
Yeah, Adventure Port. I didn't see that one coming when it was announced last year. I was pretty convinced we were getting nothing.
Yeah, it's what I really like about it, it just, really refurbished that whole area of the park, which was, kind of known as Oktoberfest. But there really wasn't a whole lot there. You had the slingshot ride, which had been retired, and back in the day, you had several rides back there. Um, but it really was that one part of the park that needed a lot of work, and it just looks fantastic. With the theming that they've done back there, the two new rides look spectacular. Just the new entry area for Adventure Express, Enrique's, the restaurant. It is, you know, been used for the different Mexican, fare over the
Yeah.
years. But what they've done with the building, I mean, it looks fantastic. It looks a lot better than it ever has before, I think. And then you got the Mercado on the other side, just a gathering spot. They've got the drinks there, and it's just a cool place for everybody to just, kind of hang out and spend some quality time, just, relaxing a little bit before you go back out and, to the rides and the attractions, or maybe at night to watch the fireworks. So they've really done a great job of revamping that section of the park. What were your thoughts, Ryan?
So I will say this. I want to throw this in there. My favorite part, like visually, of Adventure Port is standing. I guess you would still be in Oktoberfest, so you're on the other side of the pond from the Mercado. Especially at night with the two boats that are floating in the pond. I think the boats are the best touch, like
Yeah,
hands down, like those bring it up a whole like grade level. I mean, it's just such a cool touch.
they do. And both daytime and nighttime. There was one photo that I saw out there, and it's a good friend of yours and mine, Brad Purdue from KI
Hmm.
Central. He took a photo. It's just so colorful
Oh, very
of the
much.
Mercado, and you got the boat there, and you've got all the different colored flags and things, and it was almost like just like postcard worthy type of a photo. That's the best shot that I've seen of it. Um, but yeah, you're right. I know exactly the spot you're talking about, and it's a great shot at night too.
Yeah, wonderful shot at night. Now, we talk about Enrique's, the restaurant. Have to admit, I've always wanted, when it was Hank's Mexican Grill, I always thought that that was going to be the next restaurant to get revamped because they always had a restaurant and then it was like from a bygone era. They revamp it and it's like excellent. So I thought it was going to get revamped. It's pretty much the same food, but in the interest of fairness, the chef's specials that they've had there have been really good. I'm not really good at Mexican food names. I want to say it was empanadas that they had. That's like, yeah, was
Yes,
it
yes.
empanadas? Yeah, those were really, really good. So for those of you who are Prestige Pass holders, there's not a lot of seat. Well, I guess there's seating around back, but if it's busy, you can always go directly over to the VIP lounge right across the street and eat there. But let's talk about what people are really excited about. So two new rides. Let's start with that. Um, Kind of interesting because when the park opened, there were no rides. And I'm not saying, obviously there's supply chain everywhere, but it wasn't even just like they were half built. There was like nothing. And then they managed to throw it together in a pretty good amount of time. But, um, the Cargo Loco opened first. Long overdue to have a spinning ride, don't you think? Like one of those teacup style rides?
Yeah, yeah, you gotta have a spinning ride like that at your park, I think, and I missed that kinda ride, not being there. We had their spinning keggers
Hmm.
when I first started going to Kings Island when the park opened in 1972. It was the first ride I ever went on.
Really?
So to have something like that back is, it's a lot of fun, to see that, and it's a ride that, families and friends, they enjoy riding together. So I think that's another added bonus there is you need more of those attractions that people can experience together. Even if you're riding, say you got 4 or 5 people and you're riding, say the Beast or something, and there's still only 2 of you in the same seat. So you're not, you're riding the thing together through the line, and you get off the ride and talk about it, but you're not in the same vehicle very often on many rides. And that's what I really like about that is that, everybody can ride together and just have fun. And the spending element is, a lot of
Hmm.
fun if you're into that kind of thing. As I get older, it's not my favorite thing
Right.
as much as it was when I was, 9 or 10, but it's still fun, and to watch the reaction, of the guests just having, just a great time on it. Then you go over to Soul Spin, and that's a great ride visually. Great photo
Mhm.
opportunities with that. You got Banshee in the background. You can go to different angles and get some of the different theming and things. And at dusk. That's a great ride too to photograph if you're a park
Mhm.
photographer and you like taking pictures when you're at amusement parks. Um, and the ride experience, it's similar to a ride that they had before in Skylab. It's not as you know, um, as big as that was, but I think it's the perfect capacity. 24 riders per cycle. I think that works really
Yep.
well. But it looks good. It's fun. People enjoy it, and I think those are two, really, really good additions to the park. And then you have Adventure
Mhm.
Express. It's an older ride. It opened in 1991, so you're talking about 32 years old now. Uh, and to just see the enhancements, that they made to that, the different theming elements, just the entry to it now, really adds a lot. You go through the queue line, there's a lot more props and things
Right.
there that they've added this year that really adds to the experience. So yeah, just great job by the park, putting that whole section together, and guests seem to really
Yeah,
enjoy
I
it.
mean, to emphasize your point, you talk about riding together. There's one thing that kind of came to mind, especially about Cargo Loco, the spinning ride. So there is no technical height requirement. So if you're 42 inches or taller, then you're good. If you're below 42 inches, all you have to do is be able to sit in a sitting position. So I was with a family, like a whole family that Aaron and I are friends with, and they've got a daughter that's 1, and she was able to ride it with us. We spun the heck out of it, and she was super confused, but it was awesome being on a ride with her. And you talk about Soul Spin, the Zamperla Endeavor. I like how it has a little yellow lights on the bottom of the seats because I think that's really cool visually. Adventure Express has, I mean, just a lot of the theming that it probably should have had from the beginning, but
Day
yeah,
one.
yeah, I agree. But and maybe it did, and it's been removed because it's been 32 years. But so within the ride course, there's actually a broken down mine train. Did you get to see that, or have you not seen that yet?
I
So
did.
do you know where that train's
I
from?
did see that. Yeah. I'll let you
You're gonna
say.
let me say, of course. So I thought it was so Adventure Express, for those of you who don't know, has 3 trains. It's got 2 trains in operation, and then a third that's I'm not sure if right now it's a donor or if it's a rehab train, but they only run 2 at a time because otherwise the blocking system puts the second train on or the third train on the second lift hill, and it stops very often, which kind of ruins the ride experience, and it's not particularly good for the motor. So I thought it was that train, and then I rode it again, and I was like, well, that's got a T-bar. So I did some digging
Mhm.
and I found out
Good observation.
yes. So that is not from Adventure Express. The layperson would think that. It is from Cedar Creek Mine Ride at Cedar Point. So I guess it's an extra train
Correct.
from there. So it's got monkeys with bananas for some reason all over it, which is awesome. And um,
No, it's awesome, just the work that they did, over the winter, just retheming it. There's the part where it looks like the track is going
yes,
off, when you come out, so that was added to it. Just a great job, and while it's not a new ride, the ride experience, I won't use the word it's a new ride experience, but I would say it's an enhanced ride
couldn't
experience.
agree more. A lot of people are seeing it for the first time with a lot of the effects working and stuff. So I think that's fantastic. They actually have, even throughout the history, whether it's Cedar Fair, Paramount, or whatever, have done a reasonably good job of upkeeping like the drummers at the end. A lot of them haven't
Yeah.
worked, and like I think there's one that doesn't work right now. But you would think that 32 years later, none of them would work, and it would just be legendary that these things used to drum. But um,
Yeah. Let's talk real quick about Adventure Express
yeah,
too, that I've always felt that it's one of the most underrated night rides, not only at Kings Island, but in the industry.
hmm
You go to Kings Island, you want to get that night ride on the Beast. Now there's Mystic Timbers, another fantastic night ride. You have Diamondback, you have Orion. The Racer's a great night ride. So many different choices, to what's going to be that final ride of the night. But Adventure Express, wow. I mean, that is a great night ride. And I think if you're somebody that, if you're only going to be there once or twice in the summer, yeah, you got to do the Beast.
right.
But if you're a pass holder and you're there a lot, once a week, twice a week, or in the case of some people, 7 days a week, you want to do a night ride on Adventure Express. It's going to blow you away. It is just a phenomenal night ride experience.
Yeah, I completely agree. Um, it's one thing that I've noticed, and this is true with Banshee too, is I think one of the creepiest things of night rides is when the elevation makes it so there's huge temperature dips. That ride has it. You go down a dip and it's like clearly colder. I think that's so cool.
Yeah,
Banshee has it the most out
yeah,
of all of
that
them.
definitely. And you're down by, you're over by the river on that side of the
Hmm.
park. So it's going to be a little bit cooler over there than it would be if you're on the other side of the park at night.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I think Banshee has the best effect like that. It's got to be. You won't notice it every night. It's got to be during actually during Haunt when it's like it's not freezing out, but it's like say in the 40s at night. That's the perfect temperature.
Yeah, you step mid-September on, through the end of Haunt. Yeah, you definitely notice that.
Awesome. So Adventure Port once again new for 2023 at Kings Island. It's themed to kind of like a Mexican outpost. It's got Enrique's, Adventure Express, Cargo Loco, and Soul Spin. So make sure you check it out next time you're there and look at the boats that are in the water because that's the best part. Thanks.